Hello and welcome back to 7 Trading Secrets, Underground Wisdom they hope you will never know. I'm Jeremy Whaley, and in this particular video, we are getting into secret number 5. Secret number 5, and it's really simple. If you want to be an effective trader, you have to learn to avoid seduction. Avoid seduction. What in the world could seduction have to do with the stock market? Well, let me share this in maybe an image. Have you ever seen this meme of the distracted boyfriend? Distracted boyfriend here, he's got the perfectly good girl on the right, but the girl in the red dress. Oh, it's always the girls in the red dress, right? In this particular metaphor, the boyfriend is the trader, the girl on the right is the proven system, and the red dress, it's the seductions. Now, this is kind of comical, I suppose, but you know what? We really do this. In the world of trading, it's so easy to get distracted. And in the world of trading, those seductions come in the form of strategies. It comes in the form of hot tips. And it comes in the form of these so-called experts on TV or in the newsletter writers or the different places that we allow to come into our life, and then they distract us, and then we start to think that, you know what I'm doing is not going to work. There's something better out there, and you start going and looking for it. When the reality is a proven system that you've mastered is going to be a whole lot more effective in the long term than probably any of these seductions that come along. All right, but let's talk about each of these. And let's start off with the truth about strategies. Now, I love strategies. Consider myself an options trader. That's probably 99% of the trades that I do are options, and that's great. But here's the reality. They can be a distraction. They can be a seduction. In fact, it was one of the ways that I got seduced early on in my trading career. The way that I ended up as an options trader is not long after I blew out my first trading account. So you've kind of heard a little bit about my 1999 story when I started trading. Eventually blew that trading account out, kind of took a little sabbatical for, maybe 8 or 10 months. And eventually I came back to the world of trading, and I was still really interested in it. But this time I was like, you know what, I'm going to get some education. So I went and I paid $5,000 almost for some classes. It was a 2-day workshop where they were going to teach me, I can't remember, it was like, 14 or 16 different strategies that are perfect for every market condition. And you can make money if the stock goes up, make money if the stock goes down. You can always make money with these strategies. And, to me, at 22 or however old I was at the time, I'm thinking, this is it. If I just have more strategies, then I can really beat the market. And so I go through this training and I'm really diligent and I learn all the different strategies, and then I go put my money in the market, and I actually got rewarded. My very first trade with these new strategies, I made like $4,000, which was, to me, it may as well have been $1 million. It was more money than I ever made in the market. So I was so excited about it, but then I proceeded to lose that and eventually blew that account out. And you say, well, how could you do that? You have all these strategies. And that's because the strategies were not the answer. What the strategies did is they pulled me off of the game. They got me distracted. They got me working on a billion ways to play the market. And they never answered the most important question, which was, which direction is the stock going? You see, they didn't teach me that. And so I fell into the trap of getting distracted with strategies. Now, don't get me wrong, strategies are great. And I teach a lot of strategies, and there's a strategy for everyone. And, once you've learned how to do good market analysis, which I teach in, so many different programs that I do, but the most fundamental one, if you've not been through it, is my Pick Winning Stocks Challenge, which is a 21-day program where you're going to learn how to pick the direction of the trade. And if you come out of that program, you know how to pick the direction of the trade. Now you're ready for the strategies. But if you've not been through something like that, if you don't know how to pick the trade direction, strategies are nothing but a distraction. And then once you do know how to pick the trade direction, now you just want to go through some strategies, find 1 or 2 or 3 that really work for you and your personality, and get really good at those rather than getting distracted with the hot new XYZ. Because here's the reality, folks. The hot new strategy is probably not a hot new strategy. In fact, one time, I'm almost ashamed to admit it, once upon a time, many years ago, I created a new strategy. And it wasn't a strategy that was new at all. It was something called I called it the squirrel trade. I call it the squirrel trade because, squirrels are like, they're undecided. They can't decide which way they want to go. They stare at you in the road and you're like playing chicken with the squirrel. It's like, which way we're going to go? Which way we're going to go? And finally the squirrel runs off. Well, there's a strategy with options where you can do that. but we don't call it a squirrel trade. I just made the name up. But you know what? Some people are like, oh, I got to learn the squirrel trade because it's going to be so cool. There's nothing to it. It's just a simple option straddle. It's just the most normal thing in the world. But the squirrel trade sounded so exciting and seductive. Don't be seduced, folks. Don't be seduced by the hot new strategies. Next little secret for you here, the hot tips. Very rarely is the hot tip a hot tip. And when it is a hot tip, usually it's already cooled off. Now, not too long ago, you might have heard about GameStop. And this was a trade that was, probably worth maybe, $30 a share, but maybe $20 a share. But some people on a web forum got together and they basically pumped this thing up to over $400 a share. And they did this to drive out short sellers, okay? Had you known that this group of people, millions of traders, were going to go do this, that would have been a hot tip. But, the odds of that's like a once in every 150 years of the market that kind of thing happens. Don't follow the hot tips. The reality is, folks, it's so much more predictable to learn to do good trade analysis, learn to pick the direction of the trade, and then apply an appropriate strategy and do that consistently within a routine. It's so much more profitable to learn how to do that than it is to constantly looking for the new strategy, constantly be looking for the new hot tip. So again, avoid the seduction. And then another one is the so-called experts. And I always say the experts on TV because that's where people seem to, find them. But, it could be the expert sending you a hot tip newsletter in your email box or in your actual physical mail or wherever it is. And, a lot of times these are probably well-intended people, but a lot of these people never actually trade the market at all. In fact, most of them never trade the market. That's the reality. And most of them, their analysis is flawed. And here's just the cold facts. I've taught so many people how to trade the market. And if you will learn how to just do the 3 steps that I've talked about in these 7 secrets. So if you learn how to do the pick the direction of the trade, do some good analysis, pick the direction. If you learn how to apply the appropriate strategy, which is quite simple once you pick the direction, and if you learn how to manage your risk, I promise you can beat those so-called experts. You can absolutely do it. You can sit down. I've had students that have done this where they'll watch all the shows on a Saturday morning on like CNBC or Sunday morning shows, and they watch all these trade picks that these different people pull out. And so then they'll go look at the stock and they'll do their analysis, and my students will be right and the people on TV will be wrong consistently over and over again because, folks, trading's not that hard. It can be simple. But when it gets really hard? It gets really hard when you start being seduced. You start being, falling for the seductions and being seduced into something that's a distraction. And once you start getting into the distractions, guess what? Boom, you're off. You're gone, okay? So here's the truth, folks. When you learn to do good analysis, you can and will beat all of these so-called experts, and you'll be able to absolutely crush the market. In fact, don't forget the stats. 93%. 93% of fund managers underperform the S&P. Wow. It's a stunning statistic, folks. Never forget that fact. These so-called professionals are really professionals because we've elevated them to that level, not because they're actually better than everybody else. So here's secret number 5. Forget the seduction. Avoid the seductions. Find your game. Play your game. And you can absolutely beat the market. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope you got a lot out of this video, and I hope you get a lot out of all of my videos. I hope you're watching all of them. But before we move on, I want to invite you personally to join the Pick Winning Stocks Challenge. This is a fantastic challenge that I've put together. It's 21 days. It'll change your trading career. How's it going to do that? Well, first of all, I'm going to teach you how to pick the direction of the trade. So you always know which trade direction the stock is going. Is it going up? Is it going down? Is it going to go sideways? I'll teach you how to figure that out. I'm also going to show you exactly how to apply the right strategy at the right time. And then I'm going to turn around and show you exactly how to manage your risk as well as how to write your trading plan. The absolutely perfect trading plan. I'll show you all this stuff. I'm going to teach you how to choose a stock. Some stocks are good to trade, some stocks are not. I'm going to show you how to do all that. In other words, it's everything that you need so you can pick a winning stock. And isn't that the outcome? Isn't that the whole purpose of coming to the stock market, so that you can learn how to pick a winning stock so you can buy it and you can sell it and make a profit? That's kind of the idea, right? This is a 21-day challenge. That means 21 days from right now. 21 days. That's 3 weeks. That's it. Just 3 weeks. 3 weeks from right now, you can have all these questions and a whole lot more answered. in the 21-day Pick Winning Stocks Challenge. All you need to do is click the link below, get yourself enrolled, get yourself signed up, and get started immediately. For most of you, this is the next step on your journey. So go ahead, get yourself signed up for the Pick Winning Stocks Challenge. I know you're going to absolutely love it. And as always, if you want to learn some more, all you need to do, get yourself subscribed, subscribe to my channel, follow me on social media, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, wherever it is that you want to try to follow me. Just follow me there, and even just go to my website at trademaestro.com. Click below the links right here. We got the links to the website, got some links to other resources, all great stuff, lots and lots of cool stuff out there. So go check it all out, and I look forward to sharing it with you. And until next time, happy trading.